Hello and welcome to your showbiz news and entertainment portal on the SABC News channel. This is Afroshowbiz News and my name is Rifilwe Muilwa. In your headlines this week, Mabana Arts, Culture and Sports Foundation in Mahikeng gives hope to unemployed youth who wish to pursue careers in film. South Africa's literary heritage is celebrated through a symphony of jazz and poetry. And R&B singer Mr. Brian McKnight is in South Africa on his music tour of Durban, Cape Town and of course Johannesburg too. In your first story, Mabana Arts, Culture and Sports Foundation, nestled in the heart of Mahikeng, has birthed many stars that have gone on to do great things. The likes of Double HP, Kulichana, internationally acclaimed dancers, playwrights and even I have walked those corridors. Now a first for the province, state-of-the-art film studios were handed over by the Deputy Minister of Arts and Culture, Rejoice Mabudafasi. She encouraged unemployed youth who want to pursue a career in the film industry to take full advantage of the new facilities.
Young filmmakers and those who aspire to make a name for themselves in the movie-making business will benefit from the state-of-the-art film studios situated at the Mabana Arts, Culture and Sports Center. This is a perfect home to groom filmmakers as well as create an interest in the movie-making industry. Mabana has been operating since 1986. Many years later, it still continues to develop talent in dance, sport, music, drama and creative arts. The Arts Center has produced the likes of actor and director Mahlubi Krai as well as actor Presley Chwenyagai, who are world stars. The launch of the Mabana Film Studio will enable aspiring filmmakers to craft their own local movies.
Is now going to add to the program mix of what is taught and learned at Mabana. But in a broader context, it also offers those with an interest in the film industry to utilize at no cost to them the facilities which are here and which will enable them to begin to tell our stories in our languages and in other unique ways.
The Mabana Film Studio will, amongst others, seek to identify new talent, train filmmakers, and expose them to real-life filming.
We don't have Tswana movies, we don't have other languages. The dominant is Zulu always. So we are spreading the facilities across the country. All provinces will have their own studios. And the reason being that we want people to be inspired by their own environment, write their own stories, produce their own stories into movies.
Government is encouraging unemployed youth in the field of arts and culture to knock on their door for assistance.
The youth always complain that they're not employed, that there's no work, and yet when you come with your own initiatives through Mzansi Golden Economy, we're able to support their initiatives.
Over 700 youth are already benefiting from this initiative. Athlenda Mati, SABC News, Mahikeng.
Women of excellence were honored for their sterling contribution in various fields of expertise at the 2015 Mbogodo Awards held in Johannesburg last week. This year's recipients were every bit a reflection of women who have contributed to the ongoing development of arts in South Africa. Recognized for her excellence in fashion design and innovation for her No Crime Culture project was Hangwane Nengovela. Other women who were recognized and honored as Mbogodo Arts ambassadors were singer Yvonne Chaka Chaka and designer Marianne Fassler.
Women of free artistic expression were once again celebrated and acknowledged at this year's Mbogodo Awards. The awards celebrate women who have not only articulated the aspirations of the South African people, but have also fortified their democracy by empowering communities and individuals through their art. One such woman is Hangwane Nengovela, founder and creator of Rubicon Clothing. She walked away with this year's Fashion Design and Innovation Award. I visited her in her studios in Feindel to meet up with her. Her business has been operating since 2002 and she has employed fashion designers who are passionate about their skill. But where did it all start for Nengovela?
Rubicon was established in 2002 from my passion for for designing. I love working with fabrics. It started from a very young age. I was like hardly 7 years old when my mom started her business at home, and I used to help her, obviously arranging. I got interested in it. I created my first skirt when I was like 7 years old, actually. And when I look back, I feel really your environment, where you grow up, really has got a significant, influence in how you'll come out.
A perfectionist, that is what she is. I guess that's the skill needed, especially when you have to focus on putting attention to detail. Here is where it all happens. Artistic designs are put on cloth before hitting the runway. But all of this would not be possible without dedicated staff members who believe in the same principle. Now meet Raymond Matokane, a technical director at this fashion house. He has been working here for 3 years, and he takes us through his trade.
I'm behind everyone who you see that we're showing there. I actually do make sure that they've got stuff to do. Like when the production manager has some orders, he actually comes to me, and with all the designs, as you can see on my wall here, now I'm dealing with everything that is on the wall here. So I'm making sure that each and every seamstress has got work to do, and then we meet our deadlines in everything that I do. Actually, at the moment, I'm doing one of this flare skirts. Usually, in everything that we do, we use patterns, but the flare skirts, it needs mathematics, which is why I would like to believe that mathematics is very important, because even here, we actually do use mathematics.
Judging by this beauty that is on display at this fashion house, I see why this fashion designer scooped this year's Mbokodo Award on fashion.
Wasn't that just wonderful? Every day we learn different things, and today I've learned that being a fashion designer and behind making clothes, it's never an easy task. I am Olotuma Povola, and this was at Rubicon Studios in Randburg.
After the break, we talk about the upcoming Joy of Jazz Music Fest, and later, Sabelo Soko is on the Afroshowbiz stage. Don't forget, this and other episodes of Afroshowbiz News are on YouTube on the SABC News channel, so if you missed out on anything, it's all there.
SABC brings to you Rugby World Cup 2015. Let's do this.
The road to greatness is not an easy one. It's rough, tough, and full of barriers. And there's only one way to master it. Never, ever stop. Dauntless. The all-new Audi Q7.
SABC brings to you Rugby World Cup 2015. Let's do this.
Welcome back to Afroshowbiz News. Of course, for us in South Africa, September is the month we celebrate our heritage. Celebrations aside, social issues like xenophobia still plague our nation, and of course, art has become a medium used to express people's frustrations. An exhibition titled Crosses Borders is currently on in Alexandra Township, bringing together artists from there and SADC countries, showcasing their diverse and thought-provoking works.
Alexandra, vibrant, colorful, diverse cultures. But it has a troubled history. The first wave of xenophobic attacks broke out here and spread to other parts of Gauteng. 7 years on, art is being used as a vehicle of expression. Artist Vika Majoka has lived here for 15 years. In 2008, he was a victim of xenophobia, and it nearly cost him his life. That experience has now found expression on canvas.
It showed me that there is a lack somewhere of understanding that how did we come to be where we are as the nation? How did we come to be called the Rainbow Nation? It told me that we really do not understand even our constitution.
Like the adage, each one teach one, Njoka imparts skills to these eager youth.
It helps me to be creative. People must stop xenophobia and they must come united.
The project shows art has no boundaries.
We get together. As an artist, you don't judge other artists to come from where, but we are one.
Another snapshot of a nation in transit, a picture that paints 1,000 words of love, tolerance and understanding. Gillian Pillay, SABC News, Alexandra.
The Orbit, home of jazz club and other improvised music in downtown Johannesburg, recently came alive with a night of music and poetry. Highly acclaimed poets Lififi Tladi and Moafrika Mokhati, as well as the jazz Shiburi trio, gave an amazing performance.
The artistry, will and passion of these poets and the jazz trio in performances of works by renowned entertainers impacts audiences who attended emotionally and imagery, bringing them to a cheering standing ovation. Listening to the poets' performance and the jazzy sounds was a thrill to all human senses.
So their programs is just to kind of, as I said, to have the older generation and the young generation, you know, fix their connection. But this is a job that needs actually greater workshops and things like that, because just readings doesn't mean nothing, but we need to have a dialogue and debate with the youth. You know? About Tina, we were actually fighting against apartheid, and that's what informed our poetry. You know? And we still have to figure out what informs the oomph in their poetry.
The show, the Out There session, was inspiring, all in a universal celebration of human spirit, using the South African cultural experience and the African people day-by-day challenges.
We really would like the people to take out of this project a love of words, and a love of words that go into music, where music, particularly jazz music and poetry, are one thing, and that they feed off each other, and poets and musicians can feed off each other. And you talk about Heritage Month. We want our heritage to be a long-lasting thing, a space of sharing. We're talking about an intergenerational space, and that's the core of this project. When we started the Out There sessions, Poetry and Jazz in Orbit with Maisha Jenkins here, the whole idea is for older and younger musicians and poets to feed off each other, because we all the same, and we know different things at different spaces at different times, and we would like to share in that community.
A song, a dance, a vibrant, collective movement of
Indeed, the organizers raved about performance, presentation and uniqueness of this music phenomenon.
Well, one of the things as poets that we encourage people to write and to read and to understand and discuss what they read. So the idea of strengthening South African literature through poetry, through introducing jazz and poetry, linking them together, makes people, maybe more people, be interested in listening to poetry and in reading poetry. And there's a lot of new young poets coming up. It's not those old guys anymore.
Both poets come from both worlds, the old and the new. Lififi Tladi comes from the generation of the Dashiki poets and also a painter extraordinaire who was living in exile across Europe for over 2 decades. And Moafrika has been performing poetry professionally since 2006, has performed timelessly with remarkable poets both nationally and internationally.
But I can feel it in my bloodstream that, oh yes,
This year's Standard Bank Joy of Jazz is set to bring audiences raw emotion and passion of jazz like never before, with an eclectic fusion of local and international heavyweights. I'm now joined in studio by Mandwa Chinwamadi, and she is the producer. Mandwa, welcome to Afroshowbiz News.
Good morning.
The Joy of Jazz is looked forward to by everyone who knows about, jazz and has a love for jazz. Tell us, what is it about this raw emotion and passion that will be so different about other years?
This year we actually honed in doing concepts, putting together raw concepts that has never been seen before. I'll take one, Wanda Baloyi and Giacomo. Most people would say Wanda is the late Jito Baloyi's daughter, and she is actually Giacomo's daughter. So that father and daughter will be the first time they perform together in South Africa, or maybe they've performed in Mozambique, I don't know. But then we have another collaboration, which is Hugh Masekela and Oliver Mtukudzi. They've been doing lots of collaborations, but this time around they're bringing in a group of Mbira players from Zimbabwe, female Mbira ensemble to join them. And then we have Jimmy Lulu. People say, I've seen Jimmy Lulu so many times. He's going to be performing with Manu Galo, Sarah Taraves, Mingas, and Nononkwan.
So there's a lot of collaborations and people from all over the continent.
We went out there and said, let's bring something fresh, something new.
All right. And I mean, this is the 18th Joy of Jazz.
Yes.
How has it grown? I mean, the brand is well known. If you say Joy of Jazz, people know when it is and when it happens. But tell us about, the trajectory till now and just milestones that you've achieved in 18 years of producing this amazing festival.
Wow. From when we started with 200 people at a festival, including myself and the security company and the caterers, and to the numbers that we have now. Last year, when we moved from the previous venue, we had reached, capacity with 24,000 people over a period of 3 days. Last year, we clocked something like 27,000, and we're hoping that this year, now that people are normally saying, oh, it's a new venue, I'm scared to go, they know exactly that venue works and it's easily accessible and, can accommodate over 30,000 people.
All right. And last year you had amazing international headliners, but this year you have the likes of Marcus Miller, you have Peebo Bryson. I mean, what kind of music can people look forward to, some who might not even know who they are?
Yeah, it's quite an experience. Our tagline says, it's a new world, take me there. So we want, the festival to take you to all those questions, to the heights where people say, what does William Parker do? Who is William Parker? What is a cornmeal dance? So we're hoping that, we'll take them to that experience that it will live after until the next Joy of Jazz in 2016.
All right. And generally jazz is thought to be, a much older genre for older people. What would you say to young people watching now who say, oh, well, it's for my parents, it's for my uncles?
Wow. I go to jazz events and people that walk in there with instruments are 25-year-olds down.
Okay.
I had an experience that was very funny. We had a Geleza Clever and Learn, which is a clinic or a workshop for kids in the industry, and Tandin Tuli, who is a writer, a composer, and a beautiful piano player, walks in and I ask her, Nana, are you here for the workshop? And she says, no, Mama.
She's here to
I'm
play.
here to present.
Okay.
Just statics.
So even that has actually changed how you think about it too.
Exactly.
Because, the older generation might say, what do these kids know?
Exactly.
But music is changing and they're taking those stages on and performing, with the likes of Hugh Masekela as well and doing amazing things.
There's new jazz out there.
Yes.
And we should just sit down and learn from them.
All right. I'm sure this year will be amazing. I look forward to it. And the dates are the 24th to the 26th, a very busy weekend. It's Heritage Weekend, but I'm sure the numbers will still be good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mandwa. For sterling performances from the likes of Jimmy Lulu, Hugh Masekela, Marcus Miller, and Mr. Peebo Bryson himself with his smooth as silk vocals, get your tickets from CompuTicket for this year's edition of the Joy of Jazz, taking place at the Sandton Convention Center from the 24th to the 26th of September. Stay tuned. We're back after this.
SABC brings to you Rugby World Cup 2015.
Let's do this.
Welcome to Network, a technology news program that also discusses what's trending in social media in and around Africa. MTN has launched its new movie and television streaming service, Front Row. If it's trending, we will find it. That's Network with me, Spumelele Zondi, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. only on the SABC News Channel.
SABC brings to you Rugby World Cup 2015. Let's do this.
Welcome back. Well, if he's ever crossed your mind since the release of classics like One Last Cry, Back at One and Anytime, Wonder No More, rhythm and blues crooner Mr. Brian McKnight is in the country on a tour to promote his new album titled Better, and Afroshowbiz caught up with him.
Award-winning singer, songwriter and producer Brian McKnight made his way back to South Africa after 7 years. McKnight promises to take his fans on a trip down memory lane with a sequel tour. He'll perform his all-time favorite tunes from the 90s and also giving the ultimate fans a taste of the upcoming album titled Better, which is set to be released in January 2016.
There are about 10 to 12 songs I have to play every night, no matter what. It's the other however many songs there are, but I kind of feel it out. Thanks to social media, asking the questions to the folks where I'm going makes it a lot easier, but they all pick the same songs. They all want to hear Back at One. They all want to hear Anytime. They all want to hear One Last Cry. So those are 3 of the original 10. And then basically, because I put the shows together, I try to make a flow that makes sense. But as a songwriter, I'm also a storyteller. So during my shows, I try to set up the songs in a way that it almost feels like you're watching a movie. And that's how I've always wanted to do my shows, and I've gotten better at it over the years, I hope, and that's what I'm hoping to bring back.
Brian McKnight's emotion-evoking songs have dealt with relationships over the years, and this album titled Better came from the inspiration from a special someone in his life, where songs are not about heartbreak, but an oh-oh feeling, which is the first single released from the upcoming album.
When it comes to sad songs, what I tend to do is to draw on so many other sad songs that I've heard. And, you know, sometimes it could be your story that you're telling me, or a story that it doesn't necessarily have to be my story. But I will tell you this, when I do feel the music, the songs are that much better.
The compilation of the 16th album took a turn from 2013's More Than Words album that was filled with free and upbeat arrangements. This time around, he's taking it back to that old school 90s Brian McKnight sound where less studio effects are used for a more organic sound.
It's funny because when people come up and they start talking to me, they're usually talking about my very first album that they love so much. And the thing about that album that I made was that I didn't know what I was doing. I created a record of music that I loved. And because it was a first impression, I didn't have to be pigeonholed into one thing here or one thing there. There was jazz in that album. There was what was considered classic R&B. There was pop on that album. And the biggest thing was that there was very little computer-generated music on that album. So I decided to go back in this time. I did not play all the instruments on this record like most of the albums that I've done. I got my guys off the road. We went in the studio for 2 days and we cut 12 tracks all live for this album. There were there's only one song that has any computer drums, and I just wanted to create a record that was musical again.
You can still diarize January 2016 to listen to his 16th debut album titled Better if you didn't catch him in Durban at the Moses Mabhida Stadium, the Grand Arena in Cape Town, or at the Carnival City in Boksburg for his sequel tour.
You know how much I need you. You're always on my mind. You're more than wonderful.
Awesome. Now, spoken word artist Sabelo Soko joins us today. The founder of Mpumalanga Made Me, the small town of Mkondo in Mpumalanga, could never have contained the size of artist he's become since venturing to come find his gold in Jozi Maboneng. Hi, Sabelo. How are you?
I'm very well yourself.
Awesome. Pleasure to have you here on our stage. And I mean, you have been on this journey with poetry, fusing it with music and acting. Just tell us about that and, you know, your roots coming from Mpumalanga.
Coming from Piet Retief in 2003,
I came up to Joburg. I was a student at FUBA. And then thereafter, I just went in writing, full on. Performing on stage in and around Joburg. Then eventually it became the entire country. And it became serious, very serious, let's say, 3 years ago, where I started recording the album that I have now.
All right.
And then I dropped it last year, June.
Okay.
And then, interesting enough, after that, I've actually gotten a nomination at the SABC.
At the SABC, yes, coming up. Awesome, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And that in the category for?
Best Poet.
Best Poet.
Best Poet.
So you are a contender with, people who have been in this for quite a while, and people are just taking to what you do and your art and appreciating it. How does that feel, for you?
You see, I do not even know what to say, because that's exactly how it feels. It's like, oh my God, it's really happening. It's that type of thing, you know. And yeah, in the category with people that I'm contending against, I believe that I'm taking the award home. Sorry to the other guys, I'm taking it home.
Take it home.
And I guess to make sure that I take it home, the viewers would just need to put the vote there.
All right.
By sending an SMS, which is Satma Sabelo Sogo, Best Poet, to 34066.
All right.
And yeah.
You're taking it home.
I'm taking it home.
You have a few more weeks to write your acceptance speech, so please, at least right now, you say you don't know what to say, but make sure you jot down a few things so that you're not shaking on stage on that day. All right, and what are you going to perform first now?
A piece called Imali.
Okay. What about money have you discovered since you came to Joburg, the city of lights and all that it brings?
Money has got a tendency of changing people. So, yeah, but I guess it's discussed in the poem. You get to find out what I think of money in the poem. Yeah.
Okay, and your second anthology and CD will be coming out as well?
It was supposed to come out at the end of this year, but we're moving it to next year.
Okay, so 2016, bigger and better things for Sabelo Soko.
Yes,
the poet. What else do you call yourself? Poet?
I'm a poet. Recently finished the script writing course, so yeah, I'm a script writer. I'm a writer, I'm an actor. I've got a beautiful voice. I'm a voice artist as well.
Okay, well, all the best to you, and we only look forward to seeing your star rise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and take it away.
Isijweva masisha siyamjika umjida strunas anginamanga ngiqinisile. Ingani washintsha noyise wengane kaKhanyisile. Phithi lolo shintsho didn't last long njengomshado wakhe noKhanyisile. Umshado wamshaya wamshiya noshintshi i-good time neimpintshi kwaba imvela kancane ngathi sename kaKhanyisile. If only knew money was like a pack of cigarettes is a warning in big bold letters. Money will introduce you to your other self, as strangers ngaziwa ngisho nabakini. Give or take, bekungasizakala abaningi. Especially lama hrotman who behave like intwane encane masebapopile. Fall prey to these insatiable gold diggers nemigodi yasemayini. Laba bagwinya zonke bonke, doesn't matter ukuthi yini. Bathatha zonke bonke, doesn't matter ukuthi yini. Kubo i-price tag hiye ebalulekile. Basakha umdala dry esale sibuzo ukuthi awukodwa Nkosi yami bengenwe yini. Besuthola nalabo my sister, besuthola nalabo my sister bamakwayikwayi. You behave like ondlovukazi kayiphikiswa mase baholile. Ubezwe bathi ithayima lasendlini abasalizwisisi, ithayima lasendlini abasalizwisisi. Fanele wazi ukuthi ama-Ben 10 sewafikile. Ha, imali yamjika umuntu sifuna sanginamanga ngiqinisile. Naselimpopo yangena imali waphuma umkhaba waqala wadelela umalambane. Intwana encane seyitshela abantu abadala ukuthi kuhambani. Even itime ayisaliboni seyiyo umnumzane. Ayisakhuluma iyathetha ishaya umthetho. Iushaya izishayele ngisho nonathi imthethwa. Makuthiwa inecala layo lihlala lihlehlisa lithethwa. They say money talks, I agree, it's even louder when it's new. It clamors for attention, claiming all things colorful and new.
SABC brings to you